And the tip of the week here are the 4 most important email templates to optimize on your Brilliant Directories website besides the welcome emails. And I know, Pat, a lot of the clients that you work with, customizing the email templates is one of the top things that you do, or one of the first things that you do, because it sets the tone for the rest of the website in many cases, correct?
That's correct. Basically, it's how your members and website visitors perceive your brand, whether or not they actually come through with the action that you want them to take, and oftentimes whether or not you can actually lead to upsell opportunities. So it's a critical part of anybody launching a new directory.
And optimizing them and editing them and customizing them is as simple as following the steps that Rick just shared with us, right?
That's correct. That's exactly how you go about doing it.
Okay, so anybody can do this, basically.
That's correct. No expert skills needed for this.
Okay. So yeah, why don't you share with us? You're just covering a few of them, but why optimize the default email templates? Aren't the email templates that come with your Brilliant Directories website good enough?
So Brilliant Directories does a great job with their default templates, but again, it's basically a canvas. It's something to get started with. It's intended to inspire you and give you some ideas, some core things that you need, but every directory is different. That means that you should really look at taking the templates that Brilliant Directories gives you and adding your branding to it, making sure your messaging is coming through, and really utilizing them. If you do a good job of the branding and the messaging and making them overall awesome, you're basically going to be building stronger connections, and you're going to be minimizing missed opportunities. And I really want to highlight that, and I won't give too many details, but as we go through these slides, it's all about being creative. When you identify this email is an important email because the Brilliant Directory system sends this email out automatically. So I know that there's a high volume of these emails going out. So I need to take some time and think, if somebody receives this email, what is an opportunity I can create for my website? And we're going to outline some of those different opportunities and what those can be. And overall, if you execute on this, it will definitely lead to more engagements and signups. Those that invest in customizing these email templates, making them look professional, they do see results, and they do get really excited when they say, oh my God, they replied and they answered my question, or wow, he clicked and he upgraded. You will start seeing those results, and we'll go in detail, giving you some ideas on what you can do using those 4, starting with those 4 highlighted templates.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's like you said, it's just such a simple thing that you can do that adds so much more value to the user experience as they're engaging with your website.
And is there a reason why we're not putting the welcome email in there on that list, Jason?
Yeah, so with the list of the top 4 emails to customize, we actually did a tip of the week. It was all about the best way to welcome new members. So if you go to webinar 53, and I'll actually go there with you guys on our website, we do a whole segment on how to optimize the welcome experience for new member signups, and we do cover customizing the welcome email templates in there. So these would be in addition to the welcome emails that free and paid members receive upon signing up and joining your website. Let me just take a minute to go to our Brilliant Directories website, show you where you can find these. So you can go to blog at the top of our site here, and these are all our blog articles. What I like to do, if you guys ever want to just search by keyword, I just searched emails. I wasn't sure which webinar it was, and welcome is what I searched, and I found it here, webinar Wednesday 53. You can go here, and we have the whole webinar here. What's really great is David from our digital marketing team outlines all the times where in the hour or 2 segment of the webinar where you can find the different topics. So here we could see tip of the week, the value of welcoming new members to build lasting relationships. And if you scroll down, the last part that we talk about is how to edit your welcome email templates and some tips there. But this entire segment is super valuable. I'm actually going to share a link to this webinar in the chat here. You should all receive it. You can bookmark this page and watch it when you have free time. But in this tip of the week, we want to concentrate on the other most important 4 emails besides your welcome emails to optimize. And these are the ones that probably will get sent out the most to your visitors and your members as they engage with your website. So editing at least these 4 will give you the best return on your investment and the time you put to optimize these email templates. And the first 2 are the ones that Rick covered, are your contact us form and your newsletter sign up form. And if you wanted to find these quickly in the email template section in the admin, in parentheses, we put their nicknames in there. So it's contact hyphen us, newsletter hyphen sign up hyphen user, and so on. Now, Pat, can you tell us a little bit about number 3 and 4? What are these exactly? Visitors lead email and members lead preview.
So we utilize the word lead, and what a lead means, and I understand not all directories are leads. We can also change it to messages. So basically, it's whenever I'm a user of your website and I contact a business, I contact a member, an alumni, and I send them a message on a directory. In this instance, we're calling it a lead because that's what it is, and it goes in the lead engine. But basically, it's the email that the user of your site receives confirming that their message was sent, and it's also the email that the member receives letting them know somebody's contacted them. So you can see how and why those are 2 of the 4 most important emails you should give a lot of love to.
Perfect. So yeah, here's an example of what we call the lead form. It's basically when a website visitor, as Pat said, wants to contact one of your members, and the visitor is going to get a confirmation email, and then the member is going to get a message saying, "Hey, there's a lead for you that you might want to accept and purchase or accept for free." And then again, if you want to know about the welcome emails, go ahead and watch webinar 53. But I'd say between these 4, that'll cover about 70%, maybe 60 or 70% of the automated emails that people will receive. And if you add the welcome emails, that's probably about 80% of the emails that will engage with your website visitors and your members. So Pat, let's talk a little bit about each one of those forms and some of the goals that you might want to reach with them as far as your messaging, some opportunities that can be realized by optimizing them for yourself, and some ideas that you can include in this type of, I guess, confirmation email after someone fills out one of these forms. So let's start with the contact us form. What do you think some of the most important goals are for a visitor to receive after they fill out a contact us form?
Yeah, so and they're highlighted there. But when we put this list together, we thought, what are all the scenarios, right? What is the scenario of somebody filling out my contact form? Perhaps they want to sign up and they don't know how to sign up. Perhaps they have questions about your organization and they would like to learn more. Perhaps the member's having a problem uploading their profile photo, or they don't know how to add a blog article. So when you really need to think, what are the scenarios and the mindset of the person that's submitting my contact form? And when we assess all those different scenarios, that's how we came about with the goals. You really want to make sure that you're confirming that you've received it. You're calming them, letting them know that somebody's on the case and you'll get back to them shortly. You're thanking them, so you're always being courteous, building positive relationships. But you also want to try to potentially resolve and assist right there in the email template. There's no reason to have them hanging. There's a good chance that there's a way for you to assist them and resolve their issue without you even having to follow up with them. It's just a matter of what you include in that email template.
I think that's true. Reassuring them, because probably about maybe 20% of the contact us messages are people who might be upset or frustrated or having problems with some aspect of the service or the website. So it's really about building a good rapport there and giving them confidence that your company has received the message. And then with the opportunities, when someone fills out the contact us form, as Pat mentioned, it could be someone interested in signing up. But what you have is a real opportunity to show credibility. The fact that they receive an automated email is great. But what you can do is reassure them that your company deals with these types of situations, that somebody will follow up in a certain time frame, give them the right expectations and set the right expectations for them. But also it's an opportunity to increase sales, because many times, even with a frustrated customer, it can be an opportunity where you can provide another product or service to help alleviate whatever problems they might be having. And the last one on this list, minimizing damage. I think this is probably not the most important. I think the credibility in sales are quite important, but minimizing damage, probably at the contact us form, is the first place a customer who's on the verge of getting super upset or frustrated or angry will turn to. So if you can turn that contact us message from a potentially upset customer, and that's an opportunity for you to deliver good service, help provide a resolution, and turn that upset customer into a wowed customer and delight them with the level of service and care and consideration you're giving to their problem. And some ideas that you can include in contact us messages we've mentioned is reassure them that someone will follow up. Set some level of expectation, whether it's 1 business day, whether it's 1 hour, whether it's 2 to 3 business days, whatever level of service you're providing to people who contact you through their website, set the right expectations and reassure them that you care and that somebody will follow up. Another way to add value to the contact us email, the confirmation email, is provide helpful links to resources and potentially an FAQ page that you have on your site, so people can self-help themselves and they might not even need a reply back from one of your customer service agents from your website.
Yeah, I find some of the most important links to have in that email message is one that's tailored to the potential members, the ones that are already existing. And you say, if you're having trouble using your profile, click here for our help center articles. If you're looking to join our website, click here for our member benefits. I never say click here to join, because if I'm on a home page, if it's a lawyer directory and I see a Facebook ad that says, hey, find a lawyer in your area, I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to be on the page. I'm going to be like, wow, this is an interesting website. I wonder how I joined this website. There's a good chance I'm going to fill out your contact form. So it's nice in the first reply I get immediately that you're giving me a link to your members benefits, so that if I want to continue through that buyer's journey, I'm interested now. So maybe you won't get back to me from a day from now. So if you can get me into that benefits page or highlighting the features that are included, perhaps I'm actually just going to go through and actually complete the sign-up process without even needing to speak to somebody on the phone or for you to get back via email.
Absolutely. Again, there's probably just 3 or 4, maybe up to 5 main reasons someone would be contacting you. So if you could provide helpful links for each one of those, people can self-help themselves in the meantime while they're waiting for someone from your team to reply back to them. So it kind of buys you some time, as well as shows them that you're a larger organization, you have resources available for potential customers. And then lastly, again, 20% of people might be looking to sign up or be upsold or upgrade. The other 20% might be angry or have some issues. So if you can provide a way for them to directly connect with you, you're going to mitigate any potential damage from an upset customer or losing out on a potential sale. So don't be shy to, include like a meeting link or a direct Skype link or Slack group, however way someone else can directly connect to you or your organization beyond that contact us form. That'll help you, again, mitigate angry customers and also not lose out on people who are ready to be upsold or upgrade or purchase your service.
Interestingly enough, our TEFL Institute website that we have on Brilliant Directories, we recently, a few months ago, added a WhatsApp number. We changed the icon. Instead of it just saying phone number, we put the WhatsApp logo in the signature of all the emails that go out. And we've had a substantial increase in leads. Mind you, we deal with younger users, but if you have a website where you're trying to get people in their 20s or in their 30s, I know everybody uses WhatsApp, but it was amazing to see how many people started contacting us on their WhatsApp phone and getting much more conversions that way, because once you have a one-on-one conversation, whether it's Skype, whether it's WhatsApp, it's really incredible the relationships you can build. Because when you're getting, especially if you're starting out each potential member is such a valuable piece to your road to success.
So you found out that you're an international organization. You're based in Costa Rica for this
Hmm.
this education, this school, this
Hmm.
course. And rather than just having even just a phone number, because a normal person, for example, in the States, in California, they don't know how to make an internet, they don't have access to an international call in this unless they're using like a Skype or
Hmm.
something like that, which most people, don't probably aren't logged into, but most people do have, you've discovered, have WhatsApp, and they can just, send you chat messages just by putting the phone number in there
Yeah, we're constantly tweaking, and this approach by far is what's leading to the most amount of people reaching out to us.
directly. Right.
Yeah, directly. Most of our leads we still generate ourselves, but for organic traffic, for them to reach out to us, the vast majority of our leads are coming through WhatsApp, not through contact us forms, not through live chat messaging. This is the solution. People are just comfortable using that technology, and again, it's all about your particular niche, your particular industry. Every industry is different. What's important is to test and to see what works for you.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking, if I was interested in this course, if I WhatsApped you, I think I'd be talking to a counselor or a teacher at the school.
That's correct.
That's the vibe I got just from looking at this. So good on you, Pat, for figuring that one out. That this is a good way to directly connect with potential signups. Now, I do have a question I want to ask to the attendees here. If you want to raise your hand, has anybody edited their default contact us form email template? And if so, are you using any of these strategies in the email template? All right, we got another Eric on the line here. Eric, how you doing? Where are you calling in from?
Oh, hey guys, how's it going? I'm in Colorado.
All right, this is Eric with a C. The other Eric was Eric with a K. So yeah, do you have any questions or feedback on if you're using your contact us form email, edited a modified version?
Yeah, I mean, I modified my lead form and my contact form. Um, again, like even when we send out the sign up form, we put some like social media icons at the bottom to say, go chat with us or check out our Facebook or
Nice.
whatever.
That's great. And do you think they're better than using the default email templates as are you
I
seeing
do.
a
I mean,
value
I
in
do,
editing
and
them?
that's why I mean, I do think it's valuable because, when you look at all the other emails that you receive from really any company where you put your email into, it's mostly personalized. It comes through and says your name or some info that you entered. Um, and I thought that was really lacking, from the current form, the stock forms in BD.
Right, the default ones. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's why we're encourage everyone to kind of at least upgrade these email templates here. So thank you very much, Eric, for sharing your feedback. All right, all right. So let's move on to the second email template, the newsletter email template. This one's a little bit different from the contact us form email template because the expectations are different from the person who's filling it in. When someone fills out the newsletter form, they're signing up for something exciting, or they're looking for information, they're looking to connect, they're already agreeing to connect more with your company. So some goals, first you want to congratulate them for joining your newsletter. They've now joined something awesome, so you want to let them know that and make them feel good about it. It's a great opportunity to also set expectations, maybe let them know how often you send newsletters or what they can get out of your newsletters. That will get them to kind of understand how your organization works a little bit. And then also the confirmation email we saw with Rick, it just was one line. It said, thanks for subscribing to our newsletter. But you can actually include more actions there, just like Eric was mentioning, having social media links, potentially links to more valuable content from what they just subscribed to get them double excited about what they just did. So the goal is really to make them feel good about the decision they made to sign up to your newsletter and not have second thoughts about clicking that spam button or the unsubscribe button, because that email that they receive could actually turn them off and they think that they just made a mistake and they're going to start getting spammed from your company or your website, and they might want to undo their action. So the goal with a newsletter confirmation email is to make them feel good and comfortable and safe. And there's a lot of opportunities that come with a newsletter, with an email like that. First of all, you can build stronger relationships with them. You can, like Eric was saying, you can personalize the message. You can make them feel better about your brand. You can demonstrate your credibility and authority within the industry that you're serving. And you can ask them for more engagement. Again, you can provide them with links to additional resources. You can give them a free gift that they weren't expecting with the newsletters. Thanks for signing up for our newsletter. Here's a link to our free 10-step guide to do X, Y, and Z. So now you just provided them with more awesomeness and more delight, and they're going to probably want to stick around and stay on your newsletter list rather than unsubscribe. And Pat, you were mentioning, a newsletter form is somewhere where you can actually have a little more fun than something like a contact us form. What are some ideas that you might have when it comes to choosing to be more fun or more professional with the tone of voice that you want to have with a form, with your newsletter form?
Yeah, so for me, the first impression really lasts. Somebody on my website just subscribed to the newsletter. It means they think that the website's interesting. They like the topic that my website covers. What I want to do in the first email is I want to give them probably my best content. I want to basically give them a link to maybe an article, maybe to a report, maybe a copy of our first official newsletter, which has been published online. But I definitely don't want that person to wait for me to send out my first newsletter. I see a lot of people do that. They have the newsletter form, they're getting subscribers, and they're not getting they're not giving them any content. So like Jason said, they might just say, well, I'm not really getting anything. I'm going to unsubscribe from this list, and then you can't undo that unsubscription. I also think it's got to be really exciting. You got to make them feel like, hey, you're a part of a club. You're in an inner circle, you're part of the group, and this is the benefits that you're going to get because you're on this list. You're going to get special offers. You're going to get special offers from our members. You're going to be invited to unique events. We're going to have webinars that are exclusive. You can get creative, but you have to come up with why they should be excited that they join their newsletter, and more importantly, why they should keep opening the emails that you're sending their way.
And that all ties into the opportunity to build stronger relationships. And Rick, you were mentioning some of the additional actions you can have included in this newsletter just to keep the excitement going. I really like the idea you had about contests and promotions. Can you share some more thoughts on like what type of contests would work well for someone who's signing up to a newsletter, or promotions they might be interested in, just to give everyone some ideas and inspiration here?
Of course. With regards to promos, for example, I'm thinking that you can always share coupons to discounted membership levels. You can always encourage people to upgrade. You can include a specific membership level that even charges them less. You can encourage people to get back to you with feedback of what they need or what's currently lacking on your website. The idea, again, like you just said, is getting people excited about, like Patrick also was saying, being a part of a group, being a part of a community that's caring for me, is caring enough for me that they're looking for content to share with me through this type of messages. So I think that's where definitely work on.
Yeah, Pat, I think you really struck a good chord there, is making them feel that they just joined an awesome club. And now they're a member of this awesome club, and you're not going to annoy them. You're just going to give them good stuff that for the type of information they're looking for.
And to go back to the hamster wheel analogy from earlier, this is an example, right? The Brilliant Directories has a newsletter functionality. It comes with the template. It comes with the default template. It doesn't mean that the default team, doesn't mean that you want to go live with it. My recommendation is you make that one thing that you focus on. So when you want to tackle the newsletter, you say, okay, what's my newsletter going to be? What content am I going to include? How am I going to onboard them? What email templates do I need to have ready? And basically implement this newsletter strategy that we're talking about, and definitely customizing the email that they get, but really trying to identify what's the opportunity I want. Do I want them to refer somebody? Do I want to tell them, hey, if you know any lawyers that could benefit from this website, we're really looking to help promote their services. If you know a lawyer that could benefit, fill out this form and refer them, and you can be entered in a contest. That person is already engaged into your brand. And once that's ready, you launch the newsletter, and then you go on to the next piece of your website, and you repeat that cycle.
I have to say, one thing that's going through my mind right now, Pat, and probably a lot of the attendees here today is, okay, people are signing up to my newsletter form, but I don't even know how to send a newsletter or what to include in the newsletter. But I'm thinking, in a lot of the webinars, we talk about how to create shareable content. And those are blog articles that you write that serve the industry, that are engaging. You don't have to make the newsletter complicated if you're not used to like putting one together with images and things like that. You can just write nice short messages and link to maybe 3 or 4 resources on your website, hopefully new resources, fresh content on your website that you made the previous month, and link people to there, and then any news about your company, and maybe provide them with more ways they can engage with your website. It doesn't have to be anything more complicated than maybe adding one image to the email, and then some text with links. It could be super simple.
Yeah, my wife runs a Brilliant Directories website. It's a magazine for mom, and basically what she identified was that the moms themselves, the website visitors, believe it or not, the directory is for businesses to sign up that offer services, but the moms, the visitors, are the contributors of the content that go out to the newsletters. So there's a section on the website that basically is a form, and it asks, would you like to be a contributor to our blog? And we get a lot of moms subscribing to that, and they put out the content that feeds our newsletter. So we don't spend any time, well, my wife doesn't spend any time on coming up with content ideas. It's being provided by the website visitors, the end users of the website. And since it's written by the users for other users, the other users really find that to be superior content. So we're not using resources coming up with ideas.
So you're repurposing content your members are creating, and you probably just choose like the top 3, 4, or 5 from that month, and then email it to your members, and the ones who are featured, whose articles you're featuring, feel good that they've been featured. So it really creates a good sense of community, actually.
That's correct. That's something, if you have a website visitor that's signed up, and we're talking about opportunities, right? In this one instance, let's say, I know there's a lot of holistic websites out there, and some of you may own something like that. That's something that there's passion behind it. So if I owned a holistic website and a website visitor submitted a lead or submitted a contact form, sign up to my newsletter, I would have a membership level for them. And I would say, hey, we have a special level that is a blog contributor. If you have anything that you'd like to write about holistic health, click this link and submit your first article. And you'd be surprised how many users of your website have something to say about the topic, even though they're not a holistic health professional.
I love it. Give people indirect reasons to sign up for your site, more than just get visibility for your business.
That's correct.
Awesome. All right, so yeah, there's a lot. The newsletter could be a topic all on its own, but yeah, this is our number 2 form and email to edit the default email template for and add more value there. Number 3, the visitor's lead email. So when a visitor comes to the site and they want to contact a member, they're going to fill out this form, and the message gets sent to the member, but also the visitor gets a confirmation email saying that, hey, thanks for sending a message. The member, or someone from the website will contact you about your inquiry. So Pat, I know the leads are really your expertise here. What are some of the goals when a visitor is contacting a member through the website? What do we want the confirmation email to include?
Yeah, so what we want to make sure that we thank them, we congratulate them on submitting that lead. We also want to set expectations in terms of what to expect. And I think a big part of that expectation is giving them ideas on what to, or basically suggesting that they let you know if nobody gets back to them. Because especially when you're getting started, you want to make sure that the member knows, like, hey, we've sent this to the member. Please give them up to 24 hours to get back to you. If they haven't received a reply, please feel free to reply to this email, and I will personally match you to somebody that meets your needs, and basically that keeps them engaged in that process.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think the expectation is true. And again, sometimes we can't rely on our members to follow up in a timely manner with the leads they're getting. It just could be the case for a number of reasons. So giving the website visitor a way to contact the website back saying, I haven't heard back from the member. Can you do anything else for me? I think that's a great suggestion. And that's where the opportunity comes in to build a stronger relationship. And honestly, in my opinion, the lead area of these sites, of these directory sites, the lead mechanisms are really where you build your credibility, because if the user is having a good experience on your site, that's when they can start doing word of mouth advertising for you. They're going to tell their friends, their family, and their colleagues who are looking for similar services, hey, I use this website and I got connected, or they helped me get connected. So this is your opportunity to build credibility for your brand among consumers and end users of your site. And then also, they might be interested in getting in touch with one of your members, but since we know that they're an end user or a consumer, if we've done our homework and our research, we know that this type of audience has certain problems that they're looking to solve. So this is also a great opportunity to provide them with more resources and helpful links that can kind of give them more information about their potential engagement with the member that they're contacting. Maybe they're connecting with an interior designer. Maybe give them tips on 5 questions to ask a designer before you hire them. Just something that adds a little bit more value, and you can get more engagement from that type of user. And kind of like the newsletter, you can make it fun. You want it to be professional. In the email, you can include, one image that kind of matches your branding beyond your logo, that kind of connects to the action that was just completed, like sending a message to a member. And then also, after you congratulate them and let them know what to expect, it's a great opportunity to provide additional value with awesome content, promotions, asking them to join a contest of some sort, very similar to the newsletter, because they're basically trying to connect with someone on your website. They're trying to engage with your community. So why not give them more ways to engage? And then lastly, it's a great opportunity to ask questions like, what they're most interested in. If they have any friends or professional, do you know any interior designers that you can refer to our website? Things like that, just ways to ask them questions to get feedback and to continue the conversation and communication between the visitor.
In this case, we definitely know who the audience is. With the contact us form, we don't necessarily know that. So because I know I'm speaking to my end user, I think that this is a great opportunity to ask the question, what do you find most difficult about choosing a dentist, a lawyer, a holistic health professional? Because that information, that is the answer that's going to give you the idea that might give you that unique selling proposition that we keep talking about. What problems are you solving? Ask your end users, what's making this buyer's journey difficult for you? Collect that information. I can give you an example. Again, our TEFL school, the main franchise, the owner is basically my mentor. He asks that question all the time, and that's how he built all of his lead magnets. He found out that what people need to decide is they need to know they need to be able to compare countries. This is a Costa Rica one, but he has an international, every country in the world. And students want to know, can I survive if I move to Costa Rica? Or can I survive and teach English if I go to Japan? Can I make money? So he developed a country chart, which is what you're looking at there. So you're comparing the top 50 countries to teach English. So that is a downloadable lead magnet. He didn't know that this is what people want, and he only knew by asking them, what is the hardest thing in deciding where you want to go teach English? And everybody said, I wish I could just be able to compare them. It's too much research. I don't have the information. Well, you know what? I'll build that tool for them, and I'll make that a lead magnet, and I'm going to drive traffic to it, and that's how he generates all of his leads. So it's a great opportunity to find out and get inspired by your end users.
I love it, Pat. Yeah, getting feedback is key. Then you know the right phrases and terminology to use to really connect and talk to your audiences, whether it's the end user or the professional members trying to get listed in your directory. You want to speak their language. And when you get feedback, whether it's, we always recommend call your first 100 members, talk to them on the phone. Why did they join your site? What they hate about your website, what they love about your website, what problems they're having. And write down and find out what the common thread is between all the specific vocabulary they're using to describe their pain and their struggles. And that's the terminology you want to use on your site, because the chances are you'll connect with a larger majority of your potential audience using those words and phrases. But you'll only know that if you ask for feedback, asking questions to get some feedback from these users. All right, and number 4 on our list, the members lead preview email. So when a website visitor contacts a member listed on your website, that member gets emailed, they get pinged, and there's a preview email saying you received a message, this is what the message says, and you can accept this message. Normally people charge for these leads. You can pay to get the full name and the email address and the phone number of the person who submitted this message. So the lead preview is kind of like a teaser to the member, and if they like what the messaging says, all the other information besides the personal contact information, they can choose to purchase that lead through your website. So this is a very important email. The default lead preview email says, hey, great news, someone is trying to, is requesting your services, click here to read the full lead. So it's very generic. But what you want to do is you want to explain why the person received this email. You may even need to remind them that they signed up to your website and that they have a profile on your website. So if you can do that in a sentence, that would be great, explaining to them why they received this email, what actions they should take next, because if this is their first lead that they might be purchasing through your website, they might need a little bit of explaining. So the next actions, maybe you can tell them to review the lead, and then if they like what the lead says, that they should purchase it right away, because you also want to create a sense of urgency, because one, the visitor is waiting for a reply, but also on many websites, only a certain number of members can actually accept or purchase a lead before the lead is sold out to the rest of the members in your network. So you want to create a sense of urgency. And Pat, tell us a little bit about this last goal here about upselling the member in this preview email. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, if I had to assess the biggest missed opportunities on most directories, it's this exact point. You have a lot of free members, most likely, and your website is generating a lead for that free member. You're giving them something of extreme value. You're proving your worth. This is the time for you to say something along the lines of, hey, did you know that we can generate more leads? Are you looking for more business like this? Click this link to book an appointment, and we can discuss how we can get you more leads like this one. I can assure you, you'll have a lot more people booking appointments with you to find out, wow, I would love to get more leads. This is really cool. Wow, free business coming my way. That approach, I know it's more time consuming, but that approach of having like a Calendly link for a booking calendar is much more efficient than just having a link that says, if you want more leads, sign up. People want to learn about what programs you have, what strategies you have. Yeah, I'd like to learn more. Yeah, I will book that appointment. And then obviously at that point, having a product like saying exclusivity or running an ad campaign specifically for a landing page you'll build for that member, or giving them banner advertisements. But that's an opportunity. You definitely want to make sure that you have a strategy in place for when I get someone a lead, what else can I get out of it? I did half my work, which is getting them that lead. Now I need to finish that journey, and I want to make sure that I can monetize that opportunity.
I've seen feedback from the professionals listed on some Brilliant Directories website, and they say that a majority of their customers come from the leads that the site that they're part of provide them with. So there is a high value for your website providing your members with leads, and if you can get better at that and increase the lead volume and the quality of leads coming through, members will have no problem paying a fair price for those leads. So one of the opportunities here, the main opportunities, is you want to make sure that that member is going to purchase the lead. If it's a good lead and a quality lead, there's no reason that member should not purchase the fair amount you're asking them to pay for that referral. So that's why the lead preview email really needs to clarify, again, explaining why they joined your site, reassuring them that this is a valid lead and that they should follow through with the purchase if they're looking for to connect with this type of customer. And again, this is your opportunity to show value from your website. You're saying, hey, we're doing something for you. So, stick with us for the long run and be a member for life. And then also it's a way to keep in touch. So, you can send newsletters directly to people, but these lead preview emails are almost like alerts. So, you might send a newsletter once a month, but they could get 5 or 10 leads a month from your website, and each one is an alert and letting them know that your website exists. So as long as the quality of the leads are there and they're actually legitimate, the member should have no problem wanting to receive these alert emails from your website. So again, it's a great way to stay top of mind and to keep in touch with your members. And some ideas, we've already covered them. Some ideas of content to include in the lead preview email is really remind them the value of these alert messages, that they're not nuisances, that they should actually pay attention to them because there is a potential sale at the end of that line from the visitor who's trying to connect with that business. So you really want to reassure them and explain the benefits because they'll forget sometimes, especially if they haven't visited your site in a while. You want to always remind them. It doesn't have to be long-winded. It could be nice and short, a sentence or two, or a bullet list of 3 points. Just something easy that they look at it and they get re-excited. They get excited again about your website and why they joined. And then as Pat mentioned, the upsell, provide them a way to get more leads. So what are some ways you can kind of introduce the idea of getting more leads?
Meaning what type of strategies you can come up with to generate more leads for your members?
Yeah, is it upgrading their membership level? I know that you mentioned, is it offering them a service where you do direct marketing for them?
Yeah, one of my favorite. Yeah, so one of my favorite strategies, and it's a little simpler, is basically letting them know you've received this lead because I don't have a paying member. Once I have a premium member in your area, you're going to stop receiving leads. So if you want to be the first paid member, then you'll have exclusivity to the leads and future leads coming in your way. That's one way that you can go about it. That's quite effective.
So urgency and exclusivity.
Urgency, I know it's many times I hear people that are starting out say, you know what, I want to limit it to 5 people. I'm going to say I have 5. You could be one of 5 dentists to get leads in this county, and those people never make a sale sometimes because there's no urgency. Because if I'm one of 5, well, okay, I don't have to make the decision right now. But if you're on the phone and you're like, listen, this lead went out to 5 people. I'm talking to you on the phone. The first person that wants to roll the dice and partner up with me and go on this adventure and get more business, you're getting all the leads that are coming in. It's better to make 10 initial sales and start getting some revenue and getting motivated and giving yourself an easier thing to sell than to try to prevent potential future dollars that you've never sold, counting money that you don't have and preventing you from making money you can actually earn. And I don't like that strategy when you're starting.
Pat, I see it too often actually is exactly what you're saying. A lot of people create like best of websites and it's like top 100 in this area and in this category. And the idea in theory is good, but really to support that, you do need to be established at that point. If you're starting out, you can't be that restrictive and prohibitive in your criteria for matching leads or who can join your site. I think it's a good path to reach those, but once you start saying, I'm only going to do X amount of people, especially when you're starting out, you're just creating roadblocks for yourself. So I love that strategy. I would just open it up to everyone, and then, like you said, whoever's ready to roll the dice at a certain point and invest in your company and what you're doing to bring them leads. At that point, you could start being a little bit more prohibitive with regards to regions and categories of matching members. And so that's a great suggestion.
And another suggestion that works well, and it's a pitch that people react well to. Your members on your website, there's an excellent chance that they're very busy. Your entrepreneurs are very busy individuals. So anything you can do to lighten the load for them is something they're going to be very attentive to. And I know if you have if you're doing B2B, it might be a little bit more challenging because B2B they'll have marketing departments, but I know most directory models it's for professionals and alumni associations and schools and churches, and they're not marketers in most cases. So one of the products that's the easiest thing to sell is to say, listen, we know you don't have a lot of time on your hands and you don't want to learn all this marketing stuff. Why don't you let our team take care of generating leads for you? You purchase a plan for $500 a month, and 50% of that goes to an ad spend on Facebook, driving traffic to your profile, and our marketing team will run the ads, and we will adjust the ads. And basically what you're telling them is we'll keep 50% for the management fee, and the other 50% will be driving traffic to your profile. But you're doing one of two things. You're making money. You're solving a problem for your member, but you're also, that other 50% you're spending, guess what it's doing? It's driving traffic to your website, which is great for SEO. It's great for brand awareness. So basically, it's a win-win for all parties involved. It's just a matter of letting them know that your team is willing to invest that. And that's another way you can upsell. I hope I didn't get too technical with that one, but I really like that product. And the members are thankful. They're like, oh, I found somebody that specializes in my niche that can finally help me market my services for me. Thank you for taking that off my plate.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the number 2 model I see. The directory is a way to get your foot in the door with small businesses and professionals, but you're actually, the main goal is, many times you'll give them a free listing in the directory, but on the flip side, what you're going to do is start selling them business services, and a large majority of that are marketing services. So allocating a small budget from their investment and using it for direct marketing for that business. So yeah, that's a great model, Pat. A lot of agencies utilize that model that are already doing marketing for small businesses. Again, the directory is just a way to get your foot in the door into the industry that you want to target. All right, so some key takeaways here, and Pat, thank you so much for your insight on this topic. BD is great out of the box. It has all the tools and the functionality you need to operate your membership community, but they're default for a reason. The emails are templates for a reason. Your site needs a unique voice, so you should definitely invest even a small amount of time to customize at least those 4 email templates and your welcome email templates. And you don't have to complicate things. You could just use text and bold and maybe an image or two and link to certain pages. You just want to, basically, the main goal of these emails is to make people feel good and to reassure them, generally speaking. So your simple updates go a long way on your membership community. Again, even though the way the homepage looks is great, but if you can add your own colors and your own imagery and modifying your email templates, simple updates go a long way in creating a unique personality for your website. And I love this one. Pat mentioned it, is always look for opportunities to connect further and connect deeper. So they've come to your website. Great. Now get them to register for the newsletter. Great. Now that they registered for the newsletter, have them join your Facebook page or have them join a contest. Always find ways to create that deeper relationship without being too invasive, I want to add, and spammy. So do it in a tasteful and timely manner when you're engaging with your visitors. Awesome. And do you have any final notes, Pat or Rick?
On the topic, I think just one more strategy that works well is people we react to emotion more than anything else. And if you have an email that goes out to people that says, "Hey, we really want to help the little guy. We really want to help the local business owner. Do you know anybody in your community that could benefit from having a free profile on our directory? We'd love to reach out to them and help them out. If they're exceptional, if they offer exceptional quality and they're hardworking and you'd like to give them a hand, hey, just shoot their name to me and I'll reach out to them and I'll help them grow their business. People will say, oh my God, my friend Tom has a barber shop. He works so hard. Yeah, he really does need help. You know what? I'm going to give his name. I'm going to get him a free profile. I like Tom. Tom's a nice guy. So that's another way that you can get that referral. You can get more creative with it, and you may get a really good, especially if you have a local directory, you may get really good replies for that.
That's awesome. And that's where the word of mouth advertising starts coming in. So if you could build some rapport and credibility through your site's, the way your site is designed and these email templates, you have a higher probability of having your website visitors do your marketing for you.
Yeah. No, this is the exciting part of business. I know you love this stuff as much as I do. We could definitely talk about these ideas all night long. This is fun.
So I just want to come back to the slide that lists these 4 email templates. If you want to find them in your email template section in the admin, it's the contact us form, the newsletter, contact us email, newsletter email, visitors lead email, and the members lead preview email.